The AI coding war is no longer simple. It is not just GPT versus Claude. Now you have GPT 5.6 Soul, Claude Fable 5, Claude Opus-style models, local coding models, and specialized agent tools all competing for the same developer workflow. The exact evidence is messy in a useful way. OpenAI says GPT 5.6 Soul performs strongly on browsing, tool use, computer use, and cost efficiency. Anthropic describes Fable 5 as the widely released model for demanding reasoning and long-horizon agentic work. Artificial Analysis says Soul Max is close to Fable 5 Max on intelligence while costing far less per task. Val's AI lists Fable 5 at the top of SWE bench verified. That is not a clean knockout, that is a market splitting into roles. And the mistake is thinking one model has to win everything. The AI coding war is splitting into roles. One model may be best for planning. One model may be best for execution. One model may be best for cost. One model may be best for privacy. One model may be best inside a specific coding tool. That is why a single benchmark does not settle the debate. Coding is not one task. There is bug fixing, refactoring, test writing, architecture review, documentation, code search, dependency upgrades, pull request review, DevOps automation. Each of those tasks rewards different model behavior. For example, a great debugging model needs patience. It must inspect logs, trace state, avoid guessing, and test the fix. A great architecture model needs judgment. It must compare trade-offs and resist over-engineering. A great agent model needs discipline. It must use tools safely, recover from failures, and avoid runaway changes. A great daily assistant needs speed and cost efficiency. So when people ask which model wins, they are compressing 5 separate questions into one. GPT 5.6 Soul may be a strong candidate for execution-heavy workflows. Claude Fable 5 may be a strong candidate for reasoning and planning. Opus-style Claude models may still be preferred by some developers for long, careful coding sessions. Local models may be best for private exploration and cheap experiments. The right answer is a stack. For a serious developer, the stack might look like this. Use a cheap model to summarize files. Use Fable 5 to plan the feature. Use GPT 5.6 Soul to implement the hard parts. Use a reviewer model to inspect the diff. Use a local model for private notes. This is how AI coding becomes professional. Not one magic model. A workflow. The tools that win will probably hide this complexity. They will route tasks automatically. You will ask for a result and the system will choose the right model behind the scenes. But until that routing is perfect, developers need to understand the roles. Do not pick a model like a sports team. Pick it like infrastructure. What is the job? What is the risk? What is the cost? What evidence proves success? That is how you win the AI coding war. Not by choosing one model forever, but by knowing exactly when each model deserves the keyboard. This is also why the next generation of coding tools will probably stop advertising one model as the whole product. Instead, they will advertise outcomes. Fix this issue. Review this pull request. Migrate this code base. Explain this incident. Generate this test suite. Behind the scenes, the tool may use multiple models. One model reads the repo. Another model plans. Another edits. Another reviews. Another summarizes. The user may never see the routing. That is where the market is heading. The model war becomes invisible infrastructure. But until the tools do that perfectly, developers should understand the difference. If you're paying for GPT 5.6, ask what it is best at in your workflow. If you're paying for Fable 5, ask what it is best at in your workflow. If you are running local models, ask what tasks are good enough locally. Then build a simple playbook. For example, planning and docs go to Fable. Hard implementation goes to GPT 5.6. Private repo exploration starts local. Cheap formatting goes to a smaller model. Security-sensitive changes require human review. That kind of playbook is more valuable than a fanboy debate. The AI coding war is not about replacing developers with one model. It is about changing the developer into a system designer of intelligence. You decide which model thinks, which model acts, which model checks, and where the human must approve. That is the real skill. And the developers who learn it early will move much faster than the ones still arguing about one universal winner. There is also a business angle. Companies do not want model drama. They want predictable outcomes. They want fewer bugs, faster pull requests, better documentation, safer deployments, and lower engineering cost. If GPT 5.6 gives that for one kind of task, companies will use it there. If Fable 5 gives that for another kind of task, companies will use it there. If local models reduce privacy risk, companies will use them for internal workflows. This is why the AI coding war will not end with one winner. It will become a routing market. Tools will compete on how intelligently they choose models, how safely they use tools, and how clearly they prove results. For developers, that means the most valuable skill is not memorizing model names. The valuable skill is designing reliable AI-assisted workflows. Can you break a task into model-friendly steps? Can you define success? Can you create verification? Can you keep humans in the right approval points? That is the new engineering layer. The model war is noisy. The workflow war is where the money is. And this is exactly why Claude Code's own GPT-5.6 Fable video is not just a simple comparison. Their vidIQ export shows the video was 9 minutes and 6 seconds, with the description built around terminal bench, SWE bench, met her style safety concerns, ultra mode, token efficiency, over agency, pricing, and Opus 4.8. The winning format is not which model is smarter, it is what does the evidence mean for developers.